Well, praise ye the Lord. Thought y'all got rid of me, did you? But I am back for another round of Tea is Talking. And tonight we are going to get in it and we are going to shed some light, women, because men say that we talk to each other and that's why we get dumb advice. I know I'm starting already. Pastor Steve is shaking his head already. We talk to each other, and that's why we're dumb because we talking to each other, and it's not helping us save these relationships that we so desperately want. And so tonight, Pastor Steve and our brother Monteith Kane is going to join us. Let me take these glasses off because I don't want to look studious because this is a grown and sexy uh version of T is Talking tonight. And so let me do some housekeeping before I get too caught up with myself. Again, I am T, and the T and T is Talking. And we're so glad to be back here with you tonight. Now, I need y'all to do something. I need you to share this with all of your friends, all of your enemies, and anybody that you think might be interested in this dialogue. I know that we are used to preachers coming in the name of the Lord, but we're coming in the name of some inspiration and some information. And my favorite part, the shenanigans. So I need you to share this on your page. Share it like it's Reverend Jakes and he's saying something profound that's going to be an impartation to change your life because I believe that this information is going to help us on tonight. Somebody say tonight. We're not touching our neighbor because of COVID, but just say it. So I need you to like it. I need you to share it. And I need you to be on fire. If you're over there on YouTube, I need you to subscribe. If you're on Instagram, do whatever they tell you to do over there because we got to get this word out. Amen. And praise the Lord. And so we're going to definitely be bringing you some stuff hot off the press. I have some friends who have inboxed me, ladies, because they want you to be informed. And so I'm going to bring Reverend Steve on in here. They want you to be informed about where we are going wrong with these here men folks. And so we have the good Reverend Cuz on here. So how you doing, Reverend Cuz, tonight? Let me push this camera up so I can see your sexiness. Amen. I want to thank you for coming on in here to T is Talking. You know, folks be scared to come on here. They don't want to. They don't want people to know what they really thinking. And I feel like, with all that's going on in the world, we've got to stop this, uh, you know, this stuff here we're doing. And we just got to learn how to communicate in a way that is bringing us some happiness in our life. We're not just supposed to be save and sexy and not happy. We got to get this together. So we're going to praise the Lord for those who are here. I'm trying to make sure I can see the comments. Praise God. I'm shifting some things around so that we can see what the people of God are saying unto us on tonight. Amen. So anyway, how was your day? How was your day so far?
My day was great. It's still recovering from the hospitalization and the bout with this cancer. Believing that God is going to make everything okay.
Absolutely.
I feel bad for God.
Listen here. And through all of that, cousin, we still sexy. Listen. Okay, let me stop cutting up because folk that don't know us gonna get the wrong. Absolutely. And so we've had this conversation and discussion, myself, me and Gershom, and we're always trying to figure out. And I say this to you all the time, and I hope the folks in New Haven don't get no madder with me than they already are. It seems like everybody around here is sleeping with everybody, but ain't nobody satisfied and ain't nobody happy. So if I'm going to be out here thoughtin', as I call it, because I'm a little old fashioned. If I'm gonna be out here doing all of that, at what point do we have the real conversations about why relationships are failing and what it is that women are missing? And I know women are probably going to be in the chat talking about what we're not talking about what we think they missing tonight. We talking about what they think we missing tonight. Okay, so stay on task, sister soldier. And like Gershom always tells me, Carolyn, if you listen, I might learn you something. We might learn you something tonight. They say something may be said to help you on your way. You ought to stop by Tia's Talking sometime. Praise God. So okay, so one of the things. Well, I got you here, so let's start with you. You've been married before, so folks won't say that you not a novice. And surely you have dated quite a bit because you my cousin, and I know this for myself. And I often wonder because I don't know. It's just we have our own perceptions as women what men are looking for, right? Um, he didn't say I couldn't say his name. So my little brother says to me yesterday, he wanted me to say that he wants women to stop thinking that men only want one thing from them, right? And so I started singing the Lauryn Hill, that thing, that thing. I said, wait. You do only want that one thing. You just don't want us to think it.
Well, actually, I think it encompasses a little bit more than just that one thing.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's going to be there. But before you get there, there's a lot of other moving parts that I think women don't really pay attention to, or they think that we're not in sync with them.
Okay.
First of all, relationships need to start at zero.
Okay.
We always come in women with this laundry list of what they want from a man. Oh, he needs to be this. He needs to have a degree. He needs to have money in the bank, and his credit needs to be good. Your credit is bad. You have no money in the bank. You have no education, but you're commanding all these things out of a man that you don't even
Possess.
possess your own self. So that makes it right there. I already know we're not even hitting on. We're not even batting on the same in the same ballpark on the same field because you're coming at me with all these demands.
Hold on. So they said that you're muted. They can't hear you, but I can hear you. So how's that happening? Hold on. Let's see. Uh, hold on. Say something.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, but they said they can't hear
I
you.
hear you.
Yeah, what's going on with
Not
that?
sure why.
Yeah, let's see.
On my screen, every time I'm talking,
It says hard to hear, Pastor Steve. Let's see here. Keep talking. Let's see if we can fix that while we're.
Yep. Testing 1 2. Mic check. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, but they're saying they.
I hear you. I hear you great.
Yeah, let's see.
My mechanism on the bottom is moving properly.
All right. Tell me, let me see. Let's see here. She said, and it's not Facebook. It's very low. Very low, eh? Let's see. Uh I'm talking loud. Can y'all hear me? The interview button is all the way up. So let me see. It's all the way up over here. Maybe just give it a little bit more gusto. You trying to talk sexy for the ladies. Just talk a little louder.
I think a lot of times we think men are But conversation is everything. And without a good intellectual conversation, men like to be stimulated emotionally. Like we like our intellect needs to be touched. And I don't care how sexy you think you are, if you have no conversation, like you're just not going to attract the right man. That's the first.
So you said, let me get this right.
Yeah, get it right. Play it through.
You said men need to be stimulated intellectually.
Absolutely.
Let me turn you up here because just in case I don't want them to miss this here.
No, don't miss this.
Y'all let me know if you can hear him now. Now, I ain't never met a man that articulated that he wanted me to stimulate his intellect. Now, he had a lot of things he wanted me to stimulate, but it was not his intellect. So that's good to hear. I think that I think when both sides are not being honest about what they come in looking for, it could lead to a lot of superficiality, if that's a word. And so, and I guess we'll get to this at some point, when you have two insecure people or
Right.
two superficial people, because I find this all the time, and we've talked about this, and we won't get too far on it because I don't know if she's gonna be watching it. But when I make friends, I can't stand a surface friendship. I can't stand it. I can't stand the, hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Right.
Fine. It drives me insane. And so I get it when you're saying that a man does want something more than a woman to be wanting him for his body.
Absolutely.
Even though that old body though is the thing that initially
is what attracts a person. Absolutely.
Absolutely not. Cousin, do you think I'm crazy? I'm dumb, but I ain't crazy.
but you and I have this conversation quite often.
Yes.
During our daily
powwows.
I think that we go in at 100.
Yes.
We never start at the beginning of starting at 0.
No.
So
I'm always on. I'm always on 1,000.
Yeah, we come in with that. Oh, I want this man to do this. He wants this, X, Y, Z. But we never stop and say, hey, tell me about you. Who are you? What do you like? We never start at 0. We start at 50. We start at 75. And then we end up in the bed to do what? To start all over again?
That's quite interesting.
So when your brother was saying, men are more than just sexual beings, there's a lot to it. People just don't take the time for people. Women just don't take the time.
Oh, women now. You gonna come straight for the women.
Because they always assume this one way. Oh, that's all they want me for. So you dress like a thot because that's what you think you want. And we're sitting here like embarrassed by when you get up and walk to the bathroom and people, and everybody in the restaurant is like, wow, she really wore that out, or wow, so you're telling your delivery from the beginning.
Hold on one second. I think it's that they need to put their hand out the window over there in North Haven because I'm listening on my phone and I hear us just fine. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's what I might need to do. Listening on my phone and I hear us just fine. Now say something again. Let me see. I'm a lot louder than you. That's the issue. I don't know what this is about here. Let's see. Lord. This is that program. This is the program that oh, they said translate, please. So, okay, for those of you that can hear me, he's saying that he doesn't think women take the time to know that men are not as superficial as we think they are. Can you hear me, Nay? And it's unfortunate because it says they can hear me, but they can't hear you. I don't even know what that is. There's no sound from him at all. Okay, so everything's
Translate to those that can't hear you.
Yeah, but I'm using my mic so I can hear you. I'm gonna turn my speaker up. All right, let's see.
Maybe I'll go on my cell phone and see if that'll work.
Here's Monteith. He's here in the building. Let's see if he comes in. If we can hear him. Let's add him in here. Well, how are you, sir?
Hey, peace. How's it going?
We fighting with the sound. Can y'all hear Monteith up here? And then that way we'll know if Steve needs to get on another device. Sinette, can you hear Monteith? Okay, you're rejoining.
Mic check 1 2 1.
Terry, can you hear me now?
I'm trying to get feedback from them to see what's going on out there. Can y'all hear us now? Everybody, can you hear everybody now? All right. I can hear him. Donella, you can hear Steve, or you can hear Monteith, or you can hear both of them. We was doing real good, Steve. They missing the juice.
They missing it, too.
and so for Sinette, y'all have an issue out there. Donella says she can hear them. Nay, can you hear both of them? Because I hear both of them fine. I'm not sure what's going on over there. And so he's okay. So Donella, you can't hear Steve, but you can hear Monteith. Okay. Is that what you're saying to me? Say something.
I'm not understanding why they can't hear me, because
I don't either, because I got my mic pointed at the speaker, which is totally wrong. But
and I switched to my cell phone.
It says it's still a little low. All right. So we was about to get into it. Steve was saying that that women, we need to take more time to get to know the man beyond trying to pay your telephone bills. Can you pay my Audible bills? Yes, we gotta do better with that, because we're so busy trying to get the come up that we're missing out on the totality of the man. You agree with that, Monteith? That women are so busy trying to get something out of it.
I actually didn't catch that last part. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but I didn't catch that last part.
No problem. Steve was just saying that women, he doesn't think women take the time to get to know men beyond what they want out of him. Put it that way. Do you agree?
I agree. But I think there's a lot of factors in that.
Okay, let's hear it.
But we still have to keep in mind as men that, you know, there's a possibility when you're dealing with a female that she may have a child, she may get pregnant. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of factors in there, you know, why women are like that. You know what I mean? Like why they're just looking for what they want. And that could come from their upbringing, their past. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah,
you doing like the preachers. You giving us a good church version. As a man, do you care if I got a child, if I have a bad upbringing, when I come to you? Because in my opinion, that's baggage. And I need to handle my baggage before I bring it to you. Just like I want you to handle your baby mama before you come to me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So when you're saying, because I'm trying to get these women to understand, because a lot of times we'll feel like whatever he didn't do, we're going to press you to do because we didn't get it right the first time.
Right. Or whatever the father didn't do too. I just want to add that in there. Whatever the father didn't do too.
Absolutely.
I agree.
So, but what I'm trying to get at, does that make for good relationships? Because I have that's what I'm trying to get. That's what I'm trying to get to. Because I could easily say my father wasn't there and my stepfather, and so now, well, I just don't want to be bothered with nobody really. But I'm just saying.
But here's the thing.
That's true.
Yes.
A lot of times, like I said earlier, we don't start at zero. So they come to us with the baggage, and we're paying the price for the last guy's mistake. So we starting at 50 instead of starting at 0. Like, listen, bring your kids and your drama in later, but let's talk about you and I. Because at some point, if the relationship progresses, I'm going to have to get to know your children.
Right.
If the relationship progresses there.
Right.
But don't make it a priority before you get into getting it. So you're jumping in at 50, and I'm starting at 0. Like, okay, my name is Steve. What's yours? But we don't want to do that. We want to jump in. Hey, this is a little Marquise. This is a little Jaquez. This is a little Simone. And their daddies was no good. You'd be like, what they got to do with me?
And their daddy wasn't no good. Their daddies wasn't no good, Steve. And can you take us all to dinner?
Right.
Right.
And they don't like Happy Meals. They want to go to the most. I want crab legs, and you're like, yo, that's not even.
I feel attacked.
Like, yo, not at you personally, Ted, but
I'm just messing with you.
How about let's me and you dine.
Right.
And get to know each other.
Yes.
But if you're not used to eating at a 5-star restaurant, why are you commanding me to bring you someplace you're not used to being? I love a 5-star restaurant. I don't do 3s and I don't do 4s. But me, I'm on 5. So if you're telling me the Olive Garden is your 5-star restaurant, right there, I already know me and you can't even, because like I like a $150 steak. That's me. But if you used to the $19.99 all you can eat buffet special, we can't rock because I don't do the all you can eat buffet.
So you're saying, so that's a whole nother thing. Are you saying that you don't want no broke nigga like like Kanye said, you ain't no gold digger, but you ain't finished fencing the work with no broke nigga. I just want to know.
But listen, okay.
I'm listening.
I'm not asking you to wine and dine me. I'm just asking you to get to know me. Let's have a conversation about life.
So
let's have a conversation about goals.
So when you say that, so when you say that, are you saying that in the sex category, women need to slow down? Even though we wore the tightest dress to get your attention, absolutely, and we hiked it up and we pulled it down really low, you know.
But that only caught our attention, but it didn't last.
It's true.
So you're saying that's the window advertisement, and even if you touch the mannequin,
the window advertisement, I like that one.
That's good. Yeah.
Even if you touch the mannequin, because we like to touch the mannequin,
right?
It won't solidify the relationship.
Not at all. Touching the mannequin is only the beginning of it. So if your window dressing is all you can advertise, then you're not really advertising much at all.
Oh,
because if that's your selling point, I don't want it. You know why? Because how many other people are looking in the same window?
Oh, wait.
Right, that's true.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna need to drink some water. Well, but and I know this is about what men want women to know, but I think it's equal. Women put their physique out there as a calling card, and a lot of time men put their finance out there as a calling card, and it gets real messy.
Absolutely.
Because the more money you have, the more likely I am to try to seal the deal, but you're just looking in the window, you ain't trying to buy.
I think a man with responsibilities is actually a man with responsibilities is looking for a lot more than what it looks like. We're definitely looking more into what she thinks, what she can bring to the table mentally.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Not even financially, because I think a real man understands that if he takes on any responsibility that comes with her, then that's just what it is. You know what I mean? But I think a man also wants to gain understanding of who it is that he's dealing with, because who wants to waste their finances on something that's just a fly by night?
It's a bad investment.
Right.
It's a lot of bad investments.
Oh.
So if she has 3 or 4 kids, then that means I have to start thinking financially. If I decide to be with her, I have to take on her responsibility besides, my 2 children.
Right.
So now it's like, so my 2 children plus yours, that's 6, and then with us 2, that's 8. That's a lot of people. So like, why is it worthwhile for me to invest my time in something that it ain't my fault you had 4 kids. So why am I being penalized because that's what you advertising?
Oh Lord!
You was a tough cookie, man.
All right, okay. Let me get off of here. Let me get off of here for a minute. Oh, glory!
The nice guy for a moment.
Nah, but I hear you, man.
I do.
I get it, man. I get it.
I do. Because women are quick to say, "Well, I'm a package deal," and I think we don't understand what that means to the man. Like you were just saying, when I like you and I fall in love with you as a woman, that package deal means more weight on me financially.
Yep.
And and I think what women don't understand, what a man does and how he brings them that dough in to take care of his family is big to y'all.
It is.
So
we'll work 2 or 3 jobs just to make sure our family is taken care of. We don't care about us. We'll be like, yo, just give me. I'll take a pair of sweatpants and a pair of sneakers. I'm good as long as my kids and
everything's taken care of.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, when they step out the door, they represent the man, not the wife. They represent the man.
My stepfather used to say that all the time.
Holding up his end of the bargain. See, I'm 56. I'm an older guy. Served in the military, served my community in the funeral industry. I have obtained things. I like nice things. I have a Bentley, I have cars. But I worked hard for it. But I'm not going to just give it to you just because you got a short skirt on. There's a lot of short skirts out there.
There sure are.
Have no intellect.
There are a lot of short skirts.
People really think about going to Miami and buying these bodies to impress who? All that's superficial. If you have nothing intellectual, you failed.
That's true. It's true.
Now,
I represent the upper echelon of men, the 50 and older crew. He look like he's a little younger than me, so he can give you a whole.
I'm 32. I'm 32, so yeah.
I'm just
from the younger perspective.
I want to make sure that women understand that this let's see how I can get this, how I can make this sound good and not mess up. We have, especially those who haven't been raised by a strong male figure, because there's a whole lot of issues that come along with missing fathers that were fatherless. That's a whole nother thing. But I think women have to understand that, but y'all do it too, but this ain't our night. we have to stay. I'm trying so hard here. That because when I start asking men these questions, I was expecting, because a friend of mine asked me to be on his show, what women want. And I was just like, do I have to come on as the pastor? Because what I got to say, it ain't in the book, I don't think. You know.
Y'all cutting up, yeah.
what a real woman wants. I ain't see that from Genesis to Revelation, I don't think. Maybe in that old Song of Solomon. But I think that we put so much value on the exterior that we don't really think about what you're looking for internally. And as wild as y'all could be, because y'all be wilding out, you have 15 thotteries. There's always still that one or two that you'll say, oh, she has potential, you know, or I think I like her. And when I say why, it's usually very traditional. Like, I'm amazed. Like, you know, of course y'all wanted to be a freak. You want everybody to be a freak. But it's like, but you still want very traditional values and you still want very traditional things. And I think that's funny because that's not how men present a lot of times. It just makes us think because you have a rotation. I call it a rotation. Because you have a rotation that you're not looking for anything other than, you know, let's make this last for 5 months until I get it and then I can move on because I got you in another position now. That's the way I think about it. I don't
So with that thought, the reason why you're getting that response is based on the women they were dealing with.
Okay.
So if you give a whole different type of woman who gives a whole different presentation, you'll see a man be like, nah, I'm good. I'll stick with just her. Because in the long run,
right,
she'll make a great mother. She'll make a great wife. I know that when I walk in her house, my feet not going to stick to the floor because the floor is nasty. I know that when you know, I sit down on the couch, I ain't seeing critters walking around, running around, or little Junior and them leaving chicken bones all over. See, it's what they present.
Okay.
A lot of times, he's 32, so he can witness to this. A lot of time when you go into the average female home, it shows you who they really are. So you only give them surface because of what you're physically seeing.
Okay.
It takes time. It takes time for a lot of people to reveal them true selves anyway. Their true selves anyway.
Preach, sir, preach. That's so true.
I think as a man and 32 being divorced and having 3 kids, like I personally feel like you should definitely leave a lot of time and space in between trying to get to know people.
Okay.
And I've been celibate for a year and a half.
Okay.
And I look at relationships totally different. What I realize is that we really don't take the time to get to know each other. So we're already going into the dating phase, not even knowing what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think
that's good.
I think you have to actually have conversations. Like you said, you have to have discussions and find out what's on the person's mind and what they're thinking. And then you should start the dating. Like there should be a friendship stage and then a dating stage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think they called it back more or less. You know what I mean? Courting, as far as like friendship. Right. You know. So I think that's what's missing, and men need to do that a lot more, because that'll prevent a lot of problems, and you'll see a lot more before you start to give yourself entirely to that person. You know what I mean?
I think too, like, okay, you're talking about people don't know how to court, put it that way, because we're so quick to want a title. Are you my boyfriend? Are you seeing me?
Necessarily the title. I think we're just so quick to be happy with someone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For women, I'm coming from a woman's perspective. Y'all can date forever, but a woman is in a hurry to find out, well, what we doing? Who am I to you? You know what I mean? We're so busy trying to push things along that we're not thinking about that. Let's just be friends. Let's just call each other, because I think in a lot of women mind, it's like, you chocolate, you fine, you 5, 9, whatever they like, and they're like, I can't let him get away, honey. Like it's a train,
right.
like there's not another train coming. But so I think that is, I don't want to say it's a desperation, but I think that it comes from that maybe that longing or yearning to be in a relationship, or you see other people in relationships. So if you say hi, Monteez, and you smile and I smile, they already like, oh, well, girl, he picked me. And we really need to slow down.
I think more than that, women want what they want these days. Mm-hmm. Women want what they want.
Okay.
And they don't actually give enough thought into what we want.
Oh, okay.
That's where the conversation comes in it. That's where lack of conversation comes in it. Because I'm with you, man, 100%. They never take the time to say, well, what makes you happy? What makes you smile? Let me take you out to dinner or lunch, and let's just have a conversation about life.
Yeah, the majority of women my age think taking a man out on a date is foreign. You know what I mean? They feel like doing that is belittling themselves, when really you're getting to, if you want to get to know somebody, sometimes you got to go, I wouldn't even say out on a limb, but you got to go out on faith and really say, this is something that I want to do. I like this guy. I want to figure out who he is. So yeah, pay for a little date. Like, they be acting like they're going to lose out on something paying for a little date.
And so why is it my responsibility, when we're just friends, to be the one that's footing the bill every time? You never come out of your pocket. You never even make an attempt to seem like you want to come out your pocket. It's always me. I gotta drive. I gotta pick out the restaurant. I gotta make you happy. And I'm like, yo, we friends. Why we can't just start at, once again, why we can't start at zero? I'm not the dude from the last dude you went out with. Get to know me for who I am. Like, if you're used to riding Metro North, you'll never know that Amtrak exists. Mm. So you're used to the dirty train that they may clean up at the end of the night versus Amtrak that may ride, the seats are comfortable. So you understand what I'm saying? So whenever somebody look like Amtrak, you like, oh, that's the dude. That's not the dude. Right. But Metro North, oh, that's the dude. Metro North dude is fine. He's
to add to that.
Yeah, he drink. But you like, yo, don't you want more out of a man?
Right. Nah, but to add to that, I kind of had and this is a little off topic, but I had a conversation with a friend the other day. And basically in the conversation, I said, a lot of times people look at a man for what he looks like, what he has, his appearance. So when you actually get to know that person, you be like, man, that person, their mind not right. Like, the person is not right. You know what I'm saying? The way that they conduct themselves isn't right. Appearance is definitely not everything, But in my generation and the way society, kind of pits things, everything is what it looks like. Social media makes it what it looks like. You know what I mean? So half the time they're not looking at that. They like the shoes, they like the jewels, whatever comes with it. You know what I'm saying? They're not thinking about what's in that person's mind.
Because of social media. Social media made it that way.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, what I realized, growing up in the hood and then like branching out and then seeing other things and meeting other types of guys, I realized the men who are dressed well, who conduct themselves well, those are the men that these women should be looking for, but they don't look that way. And I think it comes from intimidation. You know what I mean? Because they know that these men over here, the parents, they're looking for one thing. So they're not necessarily thinking about what's in that woman's mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. A lot of women play manipulation games these days.
Yes, they do.
You know what I mean? So everything is me, what I want. What can you do for me? You know what I'm saying? And that puts them in these bad situations.
So you're saying that women have to recalibrate how they pick the men that they're dating?
Definitely.
Because if you look at social media, our black women are, I want a nigga. I'm like, huh? That's what you really want? Because that's why you have 5 kids by 5 different dudes, because you want a nigga. Never do you really address, I want me a real man. I want a man who knows how to treat me. When was the last time that a woman could say that a man opened the door from them? Bring them flowers for no reason.
We suspicious. You bring women flowers, they got the suspicion. They want to know what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, he did something wrong. Why just because you never took the time to get to know me and know that this is what I do as a man.
Right.
Let's go sit by the water with a cone of ice cream and let's just talk about life. Forget trying to get in the bed. Let's just talk about life.
What do y'all think? What do y'all think about?
That's not. Wait a minute. One
go
second.
ahead.
How about if you put on something that's less revealing, so I won't have to look at that all day, and let me look at your face, and let me look at your eyes, not let me look at your thighs, and let me look at your cleavage. Man, I don't want to see that, because I'm teaching my daughter that that's not the dude you want. That want to look like that, want to look at that. You want to run the opposite way of that. No, we're not doing that. But you don't want to get to know that. You want to get to know the dude that got his pants halfway down with a pair of Timbs, no education, don't want none. You know he's going to jail in another 2 weeks because he's going to get busted. But that's what you want. And then you get mad because just you find yourself in that repetitive cycle all over again. Mm-hmm. Back dating, back sleeping with the same dude. You got 5 kids, 5 different dudes. And at what point do you wake up and say, I want more, and I want what's better for me and for my children?
Yeah. And I think that's a thing a lot of women need to, especially, at least women with kids. They definitely have to keep that in mind. I think that should be first. What can he do for my kids? Are my kids gonna be safe around him? Right. Are my kids gonna have somebody to learn from?
Right.
I think those are important points.
And he made a great point about safety of your children. That should be the number one thing. Like, can I trust them around them? All these perverts, young too, molesters, and you so gullible because he said you got a nice butt that you jump that. Oh, this is my dude right here because he said you got a nice butt. Really?
Abusers too. Abusers too. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is that what you have reduced yourself to?
Right. But I think it comes from women. Like I said, the intimidation of them not thinking that they can get a man that actually has his stuff together. You know what I'm saying? I think instead of them saying maybe I need to raise my consciousness, maybe I need to dress better, they're saying, well, I want to be like this, and this is who I am, and this person should accept it. And if they don't, so what? I'll find somebody else that'll deal with it.
And then they find themselves in the cycle again. They the same type of dudes who hit it and leave, and then that's all they want. And then you crying on social media that men ain't no good.
Right.
Why am I no good? Because of your choices that you make.
Listen, where else do we have to cry but on social media? You ain't about to judge us.
But that's the problem. Social media has created the woman into what they think it should be.
Got you.
But breast out, short dress. That's for social media, because they've been looking at these music videos and looking at these television shows, and they
let me ask something.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Let me.
It's so much more.
Hold on. Let me just say this. I want to say in the comment section, I see y'all. Donella, I see you. Nay, I see you. Mama, I see you. Monica, I see you. Nay, Joy, I see you. Who else is saying? Sonetta, I see. They just going that part facts right. Auntie Jackie from Hartford, I see you. And I appreciate y'all coming on tonight. Man. So now when you guys are going hard about all of this stuff that they're doing on social media and how Nicki Minaj Is she the one that made the WAP song, right? The wet, you know. Praise God.
It's Cardi B.
Cardi B, thank you, help me. Cardi B came out with this song. How important, you know, let's not say physique is not important, because y'all do look at the physique, because I looks at the physique. But we want to make sure people know that we don't want you to be a fat blob. We do want you to have a muscle and be able to wear a belt. But we also want you to people get up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym and won't put any work into what goes into their mind. So we want to balance this out. If you want big boobs and a big butt, then let's have a big brain. Let's have some sensitivity. And I think what Steve was saying earlier is that men want women to have a sensitivity, just like women want men to have a sensitivity. They want to be pampered just like women want to be pampered. And if we're going, and I know we have roles. So some of the things y'all was saying about taking y'all out for dinner and different kind of things there, I was caught in a juxt between, because I'm like, now, you know, everybody knows that me and Gershom, he's my best friend, and we have this thing. Yeah, I'm all for taking him out. He's my buddy. But I don't know, as in dating, I get what you're saying. Like, you don't want to be the one that has the total responsibility for the relationship, and it should not be that way. Whether they have kids or whether you have kids or however, because if you're coming together, that's truly what it is. She should know your kids. You should know her kids. You should know the baby mama and the daddies and everybody, because it's a community now. It's a community effort, because y'all couldn't stay together. So, okay.
Right.
But I think, how much is culture infiltrating everyday relationships? Because I ain't saw a man yet that looked like Boris Karjold. I've been looking, because he's so fine, Jesus. And you know, and y'all are looking for Halle Berry or whoever you think is sexy, and y'all ain't seen her because they look like me. They 3 leaders, they ain't 2 leaders. And we doing the best we can with the shapes. But how important is that? Because if we're talking about real people, real life, real relationships, how much do you guys see when you're out and about and dating, and even in your own relationships that didn't last? How much of an influence has that been?
So let's say this. In the 20s, all you care about is body.
Okay.
Because you just 20 years old, raising testosterone, hormones all over the place. So all you care is about body.
Okay.
It's not till you get to your mid 30s, 40s on that you start valuing what more than just the body.
Okay.
Now, every man like eye candy. Don't get me wrong. But however, everything has its place. Okay. You don't want a woman where all she everything is little, and you're going out and you got men disrespecting her. They don't think about that. You got men disrespecting her by
or disrespecting you.
So now that's disrespecting me, because now I gotta handle him, because he's coming off on you wrong, and you putting me in situations that you could jeopardize my life, my safety, and your family safety. We don't think about those things, because all we care about is social media said, I need to look this way. But social media never said, I want you to be intelligent. Social media never said, I want you to learn how to be a good mother. Social media never tells you all these things. It's just saying, you need to go to Miami. You need to get these breasts. You need to get a bigger butt. You need to have all these things, and that would make you a woman. And then you run into real men like me, and this guy right here is saying, nah, sister. I need more than just your physical. Can you cook? What type of mother are you? Do you really love your kids? Do your kids come before a man? Because a lot of times, I'm telling you, they'll put a man before their kids. And the one thing that I find sexy is about a woman is how she takes care of her kids.
All right. So let me I'm going to read some thoughts that other men have, and y'all could co-sign thumbs up or thumbs down. Now this has to do with spirituality. I don't know, how important is he put it this way. He said, "Can the woman catch me in the Holy Ghost?" Is how important is it for a woman to be spiritual?
You want to answer or you want me? Go ahead, you can take that one.
For me, it's very important, especially, given that I have 3 kids, and like I said, I've been through divorce. So for me, it's very important that she's spiritual. Looks for me, like you said, in your 20s, you're just running around doing whatever. But when you got real responsibilities, and me, I got boys, so I know whatever woman that I bring into my life has to be an example, a great example for my boys. That's what I think about. So yeah, spirituality is definitely like it's a big thing for me. We have to be on the same page.
Absolutely, I'm with him because as a pastor, that's what you're looking at. You're gauging like, okay, can she be a good first lady? Like wow, like what type of reputation is she bringing? That's important. What type of reputation is she bringing? Is she a hellraiser? Is she?
Right.
She got so much stopping under her that it's not even cool to bring her into a restaurant because people are laughing at you behind the back. It's a lot of that. And the most disappointing part about finding a woman in church is they are the most loose people that they're not really spiritual. They're portraying that. They're portraying that because they're trying to hurt you.
I had to duck.
If I Sean Hardy, I need a Pepsi.
Sean, I'm gonna need 2 Pepsis. I do get what you're saying, but I think it goes back to as men though, sometimes we need those. You guys are not objectifying. We need you to even speak into women's life when you see them in situations where you like, now listen, little sis, or girl, you bad, you fine, but I don't really need to see your panty line, praise God, because you're making me fall out the Holy Ghost. And sometimes it takes a man to speak seriously, because if there's not a male in a woman's life to speak in a way that is, because women, we're judging each other all the time. I'm always judging somebody. Your child, you need to pull that dress down. Think too tight. Think too high. Too much makeup. We do it all the time. But I think when a male I think sometimes where there's brokenness, we need. If a male was absent and it caused brokenness, you need a male to come and mend that. And sometimes it can't be the person that you're sleeping with because they bring more brokenness. Praise the Lord.
It has to be a friend. Yeah, it has to be a friend. No, I agree. I agree.
An uncle, a cousin, or somebody that you.
But do we listen to them?
It can't just be a random man. It has to be a man that she reveres.
Right.
That's it.
And a lot of times, I don't even think it should come from their pastor. I think it should come from a best friend that's going to be candid and honest with them.
Cousins,
like you and I,
when you got cousins, you're my cousin. We talk all the time. He was on my wall earlier talking about, oh, that's a nice picture, and we laughed about the fact because my little brother's in on it. When I look terrible, my little brother texts him, and then it's just a whole circle of friends.
Oh, she got flat shoes on. She looks terrible, and I'll be like, Ter, tighten it up. You look terrible, But I'm honest, like, yo. You look nice that time. Like there's sometimes I'm like, okay, Tim, I see you. You bring it.
And you tell me sometimes you should show a little bit more leg. You ain't got to cover it all up to the ankles.
Too. You don't have to drag on the ground. You hold it.
All right, let's move on. Okay. The second one is and I think this is for all relationships. He said, "Can you love me and care for me when I'm at my lowest state?" I think that goes both ways. Folk, they disappear when you're going through something. They just don't even want to be bothered.
Yeah. Like the worst thing for me was when I first found out I had cancer and I was in a hospital for almost a year. You remember. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna be real. And my wife decided to go other places because I'm in a hospital and you're not stressed. I'm a possibility of losing my life. And you can't minister to me when I was down at my lowest point. I'm looking at the grave. I'm burying people, 20, 23 people a week. And I'm sitting there now, they about to bury me. And the person that I relied on the most wasn't there for me. So it's more to just your physical. You need to be able to minister to me. But if you don't know the word, how can you minister to me? So
I was just going to say, spirituality ties into that.
Yes, we never take the time to have her minister to you, or you minister to me. We want to go to bed, and then we want to get up and we want to talk about God. This ain't the time to talk about God right now. I'm about to turn on the ceiling fan and have you spin around it. I ain't thinking about talking about God right now. But our mindset don't take us there. And like, I'm 56. I got more time behind me than I got in front of me. And so I value spiritualness, but I value that connection emotionally. You got to have that connection. Got to have it.
Monteith is like, we got to have that connection. Yes, Lord.
I definitely agree with that. I agree with that all the way, because I mean, the reality is when you give somebody your vows, when you exchange vows, you say for better or for worse, right? A lot of people do not understand what it is to be there for worse.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't understand what it is to be there for worse. And in my humble opinion, I feel like you have to go through the worst to get to the best. And people give up when they get to the worst.
Do you think that's because there was never really true love? Because when you truly,
I don't think it was that. I think they just never know. They never been taught how to deal with adversity. That's my opinion.
Well, I also think it's about, sometimes we look at a person's potential too much instead of what they're approving to us.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
So no potential. So you don't want a woman to look at your potential, because we all have somebody that's higher than us and lower.
No. Potential is important, but there's other factors. Like if you use the circle of life, one part can't work without the other. But if you only are focused on this one part, you're gonna miss everything else.
Right.
So I'm looking at social media, and I'm looking at a young lady that I'm looking at, like my niece, daughter, and the outfit she had on, I wanted to just say, yo, the attention you're going to get is not going to be positive. But this is what you're showing them. So all on your wall, all on your page, people are going to disrespect you. They're never going to value who you really can be. They're just looking at the moment. And this is what you're giving them.
Right. That's a part of potential. That's a part of potential.
And then you get mad because you're not attracting a good man.
Okay.
Oh, there ain't no good men out here. That's a lie.
Okay. Let me move on.
There's plenty of us out here.
I got another statement for y'all. This young man says, men want women to just understand without all the questions.
Amen. I'm with him on that.
I'm like on the fence with that, because I feel like we just can't expect women to understand and not question. We have to expect them to question so they can get the answers they need to feel comfortable and assured that we're going to, and that's where that potential comes into play. We can sit there and say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, but are you reaching towards that? That's the difference between just having the potential and working on the potential. You know what I'm saying?
But what type of questions are being asked? That's what I understand. Right. That other guy, whoever wrote the statement, but because it's the type of questions that are being asked. It's never not always, uplifting. Hey, you talked about wanting to go to college. So, hey, I printed out the forms for you so you can start. What else do you need? It's never those questions. It's, I seen you looking at this girl, or are you still talking to your baby mama?
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
It's you want to know my potential? Help push me there. If you think I'm lacking somewhere, help push me to get there.
I know these women, wherever they are, tearing up, because I need y'all to talk in the comment section about what these guys are saying, because as it relates to, are you still talking to your baby mama? I don't play that. That's probably why I'm single, because I will tear up. Because I just feel like this, and y'all can say no, whatever you say. I just feel like if they got a baby mama or daddy, it's always potential for them to be sleeping together, and I ain't got time for it, because I don't got time for jail.
No, that's not. I disagree with that.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I got girlfriends that's still sleeping with their baby daddy, and the kids is grown and out the house. So y'all ain't gonna. Y'all still touching it, even if you don't want it.
See, Terry,
look at my
no. The problem is.
What is the problem?
There have to be boundaries. Like me and you talked about this the other day. A guy shouldn't be texting my girl at 10 o'clock at night. I don't care who he is, unless he's her brother. He should not be texting. And if she doesn't correct that, she don't respect him as a man. There's nothing that irks me more than I'm sitting here chilling with a girl and a woman and her, this is my best friend. Nah, he shouldn't be texting you this time of night. No. This is where the line is drawn, but we don't do that. Oh, he ain't nothing but a friend. I was a friend. I was somebody's friend.
I don't agree with none of that right there, but I'm gonna let you live tonight.
Saying, there has to be, but there just have to be.
For me.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I agree with what he's saying, but I think that you got to have that conversation. When you should know, there should be insight on what the conversations are like, what kind of conversations are being had. I think you should definitely pay attention to body language when they're around each other, because that's another thing that's can reveal what's going on. But I don't necessarily. I mean, personally, me, I don't deal with mine, so I don't think of it. Like for me, it's like dealing with a little sister now. You know what I'm saying? Like a sister now. You know what I'm saying? That's how I view it. There's certain lines, like once you cross them, you shouldn't go back. But to each their own. You know what I mean?
What me and Steve were talking about the other day, I feel like if I'm in a relationship with you, it's your job to make me feel comfortable, and it's my job to make you feel comfortable. And I don't care who called and at what time. It's up to me to set a boundary with my best friend and say, hey, I'm with Steve right now. Are you good? Yes, I'll call you tomorrow. All right. I think it's all about how the person handles their best friend, their mama, and them, and anybody else that they have really close relationships with, because at the end of the day, relationships come and go. So I'm not about to dog out people that's there for me. And I ain't married to you. We just in a situationship and all of that there. And then but I do understand if I'm staying the night with you or we're having plans, you got to make sure that the folks that's calling know I'm booed up. I text my friend all the time. You booed up? Can you talk? And that's the end of it. I'm calling and 2 hours later, you sitting there and I'm sitting here and I'm on the phone talking to somebody for 2 hours. We ain't having that.
But it still have to be bound. Like
absolutely, it
has to be boundary,
and you have to set the boundary with your people, and I got to set the boundary with mine.
Because if you want to know that I'm turned off from you now, watch my body language. Because when I'm around you, I'm not really talkative anymore, because I'm just not feeling comfortable no more. And I'm like that now. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. And so
I gotta hurry up. We gotta get off of that one.
Go ahead.
Okay, so how important is it to strategize times to talk about hot topics? He said, well, he's like, you got to know when to talk to me about when it's time to communicate what and what the triggers were in the past in communication.
I think the trigger should be at the beginning of any friendship, getting to know a person. You talk about those things. Like, I think we go from 0 to 100 when we first meet a person, but we never talk about those triggers. What makes you feel this way? Because the young brother, he's been married before. So if he sees a relationship going down that same path,
I see where you're going.
That's a trigger for him. Right. Am I right, young man?
Yeah.
It's a trigger. Yeah. And so instead of them getting to know what his triggers are, they don't.
I don't think there's enough. There's not enough conversation. There's not enough conversation in the dating process. It don't seem like people go straight to the bed and get married and they don't even know each other. And so 5 years in, it's time for divorce court because you don't really know each other. That's the problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Or when the kids go off to college, they get a divorce. You've been married for 25 years and then now your kids go to college. And now you're getting a divorce. Oh, we grew apart. You just never knew each other. You were in a relationship of convenience.
Well, to add to that, I think the problem with that in that instance, sometimes people don't realize you have to get to relearn a person. You could be with them for a long time, and people go through changes. Like, nobody stays the same. Everybody, everybody thinks differently.
That's true.
So you have to constantly get to know the person that you're dealing with. I think I was reading or I might have watched something that said, like, every 5 years or every 10 years or something like that, you go through specific changes in a relationship. So you have to relearn the person. You know what I mean? You have to gain understanding of who it is that you're dealing with. And I think that goes with continuing to date too.
I was just ready to say that.
Yeah,
dating and
I'm with you on that one. Dating should never stop.
Yeah. And communication should never stop. And sometimes the more we stuff a thing, I'll let it slide. It slides right into divorce court versus being like, no, wait. No,
Nah,
Right.
Yep.
Hit the brakes.
Right. I don't like that. And please don't do it again. Ms. Adams said every 7 years. And I think that's important. People are not talking enough. And even in friendships, and a part of this tonight is just not about marriage relationships or dating. Sometimes it's what you want a woman to know raising a son. Like, you've had mothers. What did you wish your mother knew that she might have said to you, or how she should have handled you differently as a man? Those are all things that I think women need to take into account. You're raising a son. You're not raising a daughter. You're not raising her to be a mini me. You're raising somebody's husband. And all of those and all of those things have to.
And you need. I think if our mothers would have pressed education more, for me, I think my mother just said, get through school. When you finish school, you're going into the military or you're going to college, but you're getting out of here. There's no choice. You're not sitting around here. You're not playing video games. You need to think about where you want to be in life and go to church. So we were brought up in church, and I'm sitting in church with $5,000 in my pocket, never asked a question that when I leave church, I'm back on the block selling drugs. But we're not having those conversations because it's happening. But when we see it happening, how do we address it?
Right.
Because you can't bring a gun in my house. But they are. And they know it. I mean, it's a lot of conversation. But then we got to watch what type of men that we're bringing around our children. If our children keep seeing a revolving door of different men, they're not going to have the most respect for you. And whatever you're trying to tell them, they're really not going to listen, especially a man. Now, how are you going to tell me something when every week you got a new man?
Right. Yep.
You booed up with another dude.
So in the dating life, your kids should not meet every man.
The kids should meet none of them.
Right.
Until you really serious about it. Yeah.
Unless it's serious. They should not meet.
Yeah.
They should not be at your
I already told y'all though. When they see you and you say hello and you smile, they already got their wedding dress in their mind. So every man is serious to women. Y'all don't look at every woman as serious, but every time a woman dates a man, she's taking him serious. We don't date like y'all. Y'all date 2 and 3 at a time. A woman to be like, no, I told him because I'm just gonna see Steve. Y'all be done seen me and half the choir stand.
But no, that's not necessarily true.
Oh,
That's
Steven!
not necessarily true. You're wrong on that one, Pastor Steve. Because we know
She coming in hot.
Oh no, we coming in on this one. No.
Let me tell you, Steve older now. Praise God, he's older now.
She coming in hot.
He's older now. So we're 2 or 3. This is where y'all go with it. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name.
Here's the reason why. Y'all already come with a lot of issues.
But y'all,
we can't afford it. We can't afford if we're gonna take somebody serious.
Well, this is my point though. This is what Monteith was saying at the beginning. You have to be friends first, right?
Absolutely.
And then you elevate from there. We come in wanting a husband. Y'all come in wanting dinner with somebody cute sitting across from you. We're not on the same page. So then you walk me to my door, right? Or whatever y'all doing now. And you say, oh, can I have a kiss? Now, in her mind, we moving closer to the altar. In your mind, you're on some, that was cute. That was a nice, she can kiss. But tomorrow I'm going to see Betty. Women have to learn how to be friends and then learn how to court and stop making every man the potential husband. We've got to stop this.
Yeah.
We've got to stop this because sometimes you Mr. Right now, you ain't Mr. Right.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Well, you may not be Mr.
And also, I mean, like you said, you could be Mr. Right now and be the person to teach her something at the moment. She could learn something from that man at the moment, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be together forever.
Listen, you got a cash app. Y'all need to send this man an offering. Anybody that you spend time with, you should be learning something from.
Absolutely.
Right.
I have a new best friend, and every time I eat with her, I come away with a notepad in the back of my mind saying, oh, this is what I learned. Not necessarily, even though I'm learning her, I'm also learning something to put in my notebook to take me to another place because I'm trying to develop, which goes back to what we were saying earlier, that we have to be working on ourselves constantly to make ourselves a better version of ourselves, to make ourselves not just the window dressing, but make us the thing that people want to shop and buy. Okay, so hold on. Let me move on because y'all making me run out of time. He says, women, be secure in yourself, that it doesn't matter what other women or woman is present, walking by, or in the same restaurant I am with you, because I love you. Don't start comparing yourself to another woman, and be glad if your man wants to take a quick glance at another female who may be gorgeous, respectively, because he could be peeking at another man.
No.
I
was with it until you said all of that. I was with it until you said that.
He might be peeking at another man.
I think that you guys are having trouble with that because you're a type A men. Butter up. If you're a woman in church, more than likely, that man is not only looking at a woman, he is also looking at a man. Now, y'all can say amen or you can say no. Butter up. Y'all know that in church, there is a likelihood that he is also looking at another man. Mm-hmm. All right. Praise God. All right. Man. They don't want to touch that because they are strictly down with.
I can't contest to
They
that.
are they're strictly what they call punani.
Totally.
All right, let me get off there if I get in trouble. My mother's watching this. Y'all stop. Okay. It says women.
Sorry, Pastor Nick. That was your daughter that went sideways.
It says women, stop trying to maintain a man and just be you. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's a part of security.
Okay.
I think that's a part. I think that plays a part of security, because once you're secure, you're not worried about whether or not he's gonna leave. Because if you know your value, you know that that man is smart. You know that man ain't gonna go nowhere. If you're dealing with a dummy, he's gonna do whatever you want to do anyway.
And do you really want the man that's gonna do what he want anyway? I mean, women, come on, do we really want that? You want a man that wants to be there.
If a man if he secures you, meaning like he put a ring on your finger, that means he's willing to invest into your life. He's not gonna men aren't just going to buy a ring just to buy one, just to shut you up. But for a real man that take the time to invest in doing it, it's because he wants to invest in you for the rest of his life. You don't have nothing to be, listen, 99 women can walk by, but you're the only one that take his breath away.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's move on. He says,
I felt that. Preach. I felt that.
Here's another one. Here's another one. He says, allow a man to feel safe to say what they need and not feel that they will get negative feedback.
I think a man has to somewhat expect negative feedback sometimes.
Why? Because your woman got a bad attitude?
Say that again?
I said, why? Because women have bad attitudes?
No. I'm just saying you can't expect everything to be positive. Like, you can't always expect just a female to agree with everything that's a yes man mentality. I think you should want to hear the opposing side. If a woman is just trying to please you, to me, there's something behind that.
Criticism is good.
Yeah, right.
It makes you. When I first went into the military, all they did was criticize us. Told us what we wasn't gonna be. We're not gonna survive. We're not gonna do this. We're gonna do this. But they were building us. They made us better men. So I accept criticism. You know, I'm not gonna let you belittle me. That's a whole different.
Yeah, right. There's a very fine line. And I think men do it too. But yeah, no, there's a very fine line. You have to be respectful when giving criticism.
To belittle them either. If I'm criticizing you because I see the potential in you being better and you're not living up to it, that's one thing. But for me to just
tear you down
on you,
tell you
that you ain't gonna be the. That's because that's a control thing.
Gotcha.
Because he's just like a pimp. Gotcha. He's just like a pimp. He's just trying to control you so you can do whatever he wants you to do. Gotcha. I don't want no woman like that.
All right. Next one, he says, never tell a man you don't need them.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Well, wait a minute. Let's put that in context, because I have been known to tell people I don't need them. I want you, but I lived 46 years without you, so I really don't. Come on.
I don't think it has to be shoved in a person's face, though. I agree, but I don't think it should be shoved in their face.
I don't need you. I want you. But I don't need you.
If you have to continuously remind somebody
that's true
that you don't need them, then you shouldn't be with them.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
I agree.
The first time I hear that come out your mouth, just keep on going.
Walk on by. Okay.
Just keep going.
If you see me walking down the street. Okay. The next one says, he says, be open, growing as a team. I think we touched that already. We have to grow together. And that's the dating and the communicating. Support. How big is the woman supporting you?
That's essential. That's essential to the foundation of a relationship.
So let me ask you this.
If there's no support.
Let me ask you this. So Montez, you're a rapper and you have all these shows lined up and she never comes.
To be honest with you, I'm not really too concerned with a woman being involved in that type of, like, I think it's cool if she likes the music. I think it's cool if she gives her input. But I don't necessarily care for her being around that lifestyle because I know that attracts a different type of, how could I say, a different type of crowd. You know what I'm saying? So I like to keep that and my reality separate.
Okay, so you're a different type of rapper. You're like, this is my job, this is what I do. I'm not really interested in taking you here. We have a life outside of that. Okay. So the flip side of it is, for a pastor, you have a church and your wife does not attend. That's
not good. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. That's not good.
That's not good.
What if she ain't saved? What if she ain't saved?
That's no excuse. That's no excuse. There's no excuse for that.
Supporting you, even if you're a bad preacher, she should make the church world seem like you're the best preacher that ever walked. And when she gets you home, babe, you know you're terrible, but I still love you.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, yep.
Babe, you know you need to read your Bible because you misquoted like 19 of the 20 scriptures. You quoted.
Okay.
But I still love you because while you was in that robe, you was the sexiest man in the world.
Okay. He said, don't hold past hurt from others against your man.
Say it again.
Don't hold past hurts from others against your man.
I agree.
What we got, Montez? What you say?
I agree. I think some things should be expected a little bit, but I agree. In totality.
So how the flip of that is, I'm not holding it against you, but I can't get over it. So I've been cheated on, abused, lied to. I'm not trying to hold it against you, but it's just a part of who I am now. How active are you in helping her heal that? Or we should deal with our own stuff, get you a therapist, and then come see me later.
So here's the thing. Why she's holding it against me.
It's not you. It's not you.
Wait, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But my presentation is, you've done this too. You've done something on the same lines, because to me, the same spirits attract. I remember when I was young, Pastor Kim said, a lust spirit knows a lust spirit. And when two lust spirits are in sync with one another, they'll spot each other across the room and they can see each other. So I always believe that kindred spirits attract each other. So if I cheated on you, 9 times out of 10 you did it somewhere. But we don't.
That's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is, if I was married to Montez and he cheated on me, broke my heart, and I loved him so much, and then you're my next man, I'm not trying to hold it against you, but I can't get over that I'm still broken from him.
Then you shouldn't have got married to him,
or dating, or dating
the next guy until your heart is clear, because it's unfair for you to penalize me for what Montez did.
Help me out, Montez, because I'm broken, because you broke my heart.
But I mean, I agree, but I think to a certain degree, nobody's perfect. So you can't expect all the time somebody to come in, with no baggage at all. Sometimes you have to help them unpack it. And I really believe that reassurance is something that could help the situation. And counseling, you know what I mean? But I think I do agree with him. Yeah, the person has to have, and I think this is for everybody. If you've been hurt before, you should have a period of time where you're just strictly single, trying to figure out what you don't like and what you do like. You know what I mean?
You got to get to know. You got to get to know you. You got to get to know you. That's it.
Right.
And the reassurance helps. Like if your last man was always huddled up in the corner with his phone, leave your phone on the table where she can see, babe, and it ring. Okay, pick it up. I don't got nothing to hide. Pick it up. I want you to see that there's nothing that I need. When I was married, I never locked my phone when I got in the house. I only locked it on the outside. case somebody stole it. But when I came in the house, I took the lock off and I sat my phone. I can leave it on the kitchen table because I don't have anything to hide. I need you to know that there's nothing going on. Look at it. Yeah. Here. You want to look at my phone?
I think that's very mature, and you have to love the person enough to want them to be reassured. And I said this to someone before. I was like, you try to make me jealous, I'm out right off the cuff. You got one time. You got one time to try to make me jealous, and that's the end of the rule. Boys to men, honey, boys to men. Okay, here we go. He said, if you forgive your man for mistakes and you choose to stay, don't throw it in his face. And if you're going to keep doing that, move on.
Absolutely. Because if you forgave him, then you have to learn it. But, however, it depends on the severity of the mistake.
Okay.
That they have to learn how to trust you again. And you have to be patient enough to deal with it, to let them grow from that place.
Right. I agree.
I got the magic.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
That's a good one.
Because when you offend somebody, you don't get to tell them how quick they get over it. And I may not leave because I still love you.
Right.
But don't rush me, because every time you do something crazy, it brings up you lied the last time and said you was going to Stop and Shop and you was at Susie's. So
yeah,
you got to wait.
I think that's a thing that that could be used as a manipulation tactic for some men. You know what I mean? Don't expect a woman to just get over you cheating on her. Right. You can't expect that. You can't expect that, especially if she's already been through it.
Absolutely, vice versa, and
both ways.
You got to give a person time. If they choose to stay, you got to give them enough time to heal.
And my thing is, if I offend you, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you don't feel no type of way. If you know that this place is a trigger or this whatever, don't do it. Stop touching the button.
Right.
Come on. If you want the relationship, that's the way.
But Terry, let's be honest. Your button's always touched. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. My button. I was born with my button pressed down.
He was born with them pressed.
That's why I'm single, because I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to be in jail. His other one was be friends. We talked about that earlier, and don't belittle your man. Yeah, we're not belittling the man. Okay. What do you want your woman to know about your baby mamas? Things that they don't have to be worried about, things that they do want to be worried about. Should the new woman be worried about the baby mama? Should she have any interaction? I have my own views, but this is what the men want the women to know.
Go, I'm gonna let you take that one.
You want to go ahead first? All right. So I believe that for me personally, I deal with her. If you want to have a conversation with her and open up a dialogue so you could possibly be friends, that's cool. That don't mean that's gonna happen though.
Right. Especially if I ain't happy that you moved on. If I ain't happy you moved on, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to talk to none of your girlfriends.
Right.
Yeah.
But however, the maturity has to come into a play where she understands that there's a possibility that this woman is going to be in my life forever. And we have to come to an agreement. We need to sit down and we need to come to agreement. Like, listen, she may have to pick up the kids because I'm not around. I may be working. I may be doing this show. Hold on.
If you cheated on me with her and you got my kids, she ain't picking up my kids.
That's a whole different conversation.
That's different. No, we ain't going there.
Okay. And ain't nobody picking up my kids but you and your mama.
How to interact with the baby mama.
I'm just messing with y'all.
I cheated on her with that, but
What happens?
Personally,
what happens if she still loves you? What happens if she still loves you?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Me personally, you know, for me personally, I don't think it'll ever work like that.
Me either.
I don't think I could ever get it to work like that. So I wouldn't even bank on it. But you know, I would have a family member deal with her instead of her. You know what I'm saying?
You better do something if you're dealing with me.
That's just me personally.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm laughing and I'm joking because this is the shenanigans part of the show. But I have seen men who have multiple baby mamas and they seem to be like a community. Like, you know, like they love him. They love the kids, everybody babysitting everybody. I don't know if I need more Holy Ghost or
that's a blessing. No, that's a blessing.
I don't know.
That don't happen all the time.
I have a friend that had that. I think he said he got like three different baby mothers, you know, and he got 6 kids. And I was stunned by how he was able to deal with each of them on their own accord, and they could talk to each other actually, you know. But it's not the same for everybody. You know what I mean? You gotta have that understanding between that baby mother. If the baby mother don't want to deal with her, she don't want to deal with her.
Aunt Jackie, I'm telling you right now, pray for me. She said maturity. Aunt Jackie, I'm not there. I need to grow up. Because I'm going to be a hellraiser if I had a baby mama, daddy, something. Nobody's picking up my kids. I don't feel like you or him or nobody. I had a friend.
Personally, like as a man, I personally believe that there's a possibility that another man could be involved with my children. So I always leave that open in my mind. Yes. You know what I mean? And I think we need to stop holding on to this is my baby mother, this is my baby father, these are my kids.
Right,
no,
right.
Those are both of your kids.
Right. And y'all got to find a way to work together.
But the biggest check to a man's ego is when another man is picking up his kids. That's a huge check to a man's ego. They be like, wow, this is a reality.
Right.
That checks.
Yeah. But
you want to check?
I'm always preparing myself for that because I don't know. You never know what could happen. And the reality is, when you break up with someone and y'all have kids together, you have to expect to a certain degree another person to be involved. You can't just think in the back of your mind that they're never going to date anybody else or deal with anybody else. And that's not realistic. That's not the real world.
No, and that's why I'm single.
You're living on fantasy island.
But you know, and I'm laughing about that. But I was raised with my mom and my stepfather, and I totally get it. Thank God, because my stepfather was a little bit more crazy than my father. He really just stepped off. So you know, I get that whole thing of being able to parent and having somebody else raise your children and being involved and keeping everything copacetic. It helps when the person is just not there. We won't start that, praise God, because some of my family members may get offended when I tell them about the loved one. But I totally get it, and I think it is important. And I say this to Steve all the time with him being sick. It's important for men, especially with daughters. I know Monteith has sons, but especially with daughters, to make sure that they're present in a way that all of this stuff we talked about tonight has been communicated by your presence and your instruction and, you know, and just your vibe, so that when women get in relationships with these guys, they're not being taken advantage of. And I know y'all can definitely attest to this. And for young women, I want y'all to hear this. When there's a man in your life, when that boy pick you up and he's sitting there in his fuzzy slippers looking real mean like Steve look right now, it's a less likelihood that he gonna try something stupid because he know that there's a man covering you that he got to answer to. And there's somebody that if he act crazy, there's a response for that stupidity, you know.
Yeah, you got to deal with that.
Yeah. And women,
because if you disrespect her and she let me know, it's a problem.
Right.
It's a serious problem.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna check you, because we're not doing that.
Right.
And when the woman knows that support system is there,
right,
they're good.
And we make better decisions knowing that we have a man that's expecting us to do right. Because you know, you're less likely.
Holding you accountable.
Yeah. That's definitely important, especially with there being, and they saying 100%, she has a strong father figure. It's just necessary for you to be there. And I'll never forget one time, a friend called and she was telling me about her boyfriend, and my godbrother was in the car, and she was like, "Oh, he said we can't get together for his birthday because his cousin died." And my godbrother said, "Oh, we killing cousins now." He said, "Oh, okay, we killing cousins, child." I was like, he got a woman, right? He was like, "Absolutely. Who cousin gonna die on their birthday? Come on, that is stupid.
That never happened."
So it's like you need men in your life to say, "Oh no, that's game. That's game. That's game." I know.
Right.
Yeah. No.
And you and I talk about
I think
stuff.
To add to that, I think women should definitely have male friends around with wise counsel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's important to have men around that's going to tell them the right things. If you don't have a man around, you should try to find a friend that's going to tell you the right things. You know what I mean? And not just going to agree with everything that you do, or you know what I'm saying? Like you definitely should have that.
Here's the danger on that. If she has friends that are around, it could be a threat to the relationship, because a lot of times one of those friends develop feelings, and they may not say anything, but they always throwing the brick behind the back that has her saying, "Well, I talked to my friend and he said this," and I'm sitting in my mind saying, "Yo, this dude got game," because he's trying to get where I am.
I get what you're saying.
That's the danger of having too many wise counsel.
So I just want to say this. Let me just say this. I get totally what you're saying, Steve, and it's so important. And I think that comes back to the woman working on herself and growing a brain, because anytime you get advice, you always got to consider the source.
Absolutely.
Always. Whether it's women friends, men friends, anybody, you got to consider the source. And so you got to be able to filter that he ain't no good through the lens of who's telling you they're not no good. You see?
But here, can I say this?
That's true.
Go ahead, whichever one.
Let me say this. The danger of relationships are we have too many outside influences.
That's
instead
true.
of just sitting there and talking to the person.
That's true.
We never just simply talk to the person and say, "Yo, this is what I'm feeling.
Right.
How do we deal with this?"
Right.
But instead we getting advice from women who aren't in a relationship. "Oh, men ain't no good," and all this stuff.
But Steve,
but just hear me.
Go ahead.
But so your influence are bitter people who still in that same place, but you've moved to another place because you have a successful relationship that may have a hiccup or two. But why not just have a conversation with the person?
But I think that goes back to, I probably would have an easier time telling you what's wrong with my relationship than telling the person that I'm in the relationship with, because a lot of times we cannot hear constructive criticism from the person we're trying to impress and the person that we're trying to be wonderful to. So I think that's the bad part, is because I come to you and I go, "Oh my God, I just wish he would pick up his sock. What a slob." And you know what I mean? Little things. And if I said that to him, it would be considered, "Oh, she's a nag. She always want me to clean up." So it's like, sometimes I think therapy is important, because you have to have an objective person to help you kind of see where you want the same things, but you're not getting there the same way, if that makes sense. You both want a nice home.
I think it depends on the. I think it depends on the bond that. I think it depends on the bond that you form with the person that you're with.
Got you.
And like you said, when you work on yourself, see, me personally, like, all right, I have, you know, I have a lot of female friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I love them all like sisters. You know what I mean? But I understand what boundaries to cross and what boundaries not to cross. I know if I'm interested in a woman, what I shouldn't be doing. You know, I know if I'm interested in a woman, I shouldn't be taking advantage of her. These are things, you know what I mean? These are things that a man should keep in mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, you know, as far as friendships, like, I don't know, like for me, I think it just depends on the bond that you have with the person. Like, you have to form a bond with the person that you're with. And that comes from the friendship. You know what I mean? But you have to be able to separate the person of interest and your friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because your friends, like, I mean, I have, you know, female friends that, you know, throw hints, you know, throw hints that they like me and stuff like that. But it's like, hey, I'm not really feeling you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's also the man's job to put things into perspective for the woman too.
That's true. That's so true.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if you can't talk to the person that you're in, once it goes back, we started talking about friendship. If we a year down the road and the relationship has progressed to where we're actually dating, we should establish enough communication where you should feel comfortable. If I have my sock on the floor, you say, yo, dude, you need to pick the sock up, and not feeling offended. Versus, you always got to, that's a whole different, like, why are you nagging? Like, stop nagging. And then you get tuned out, and you sitting there watching basketball and she fuss, and then like, you don't never pay no attention to me because there's a way to present everything. If I present a nice full-course meal and it's laid out and it's smelling good, it looks good, you're going to eat from that table. Now, I could give you that same meal in a different environment, and you'd be like, nah, I'm good. It's delivery. It's presentation. And if we say we love each other, you know, as the relationship progresses, if we at that stage where we're dating, then I should be comfortable enough to say, listen, you know, I want to make you, I need you to be better in this aspect because here's where our relationship is failing at.
I have a question. It's 2020. Would you respect a woman that proposed to you?
No. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one.
Not at all. Not for me. I'm still old school. Nope.
All right.
I'm good.
So for me, I'm not gonna lie. I think it all depends on the type of individual. For me, personally, I wouldn't want that to happen. I would feel little. I would feel very small for a woman to propose to me, because it's kind of saying like, dude, what you waiting for? Like, I'm not good enough for you. Like why haven't you proposed to me yet?
Like, what? Have you rode on the yellow bus with the 7 seats? Are you that slow? Are you serious? Am I that slow? Do I need to put the safety helmet on? And I'm riding with the seats with the cushion on it? Am I that slow? Yeah, I'm good with that.
No.
And I think that right there would end my relationship with her.
Oh, Lord.
I mean,
I would feel very disrespectful.
I think in 2020 things are different. People are having polyamorous relationships and all types of stuff.
Oh.
And some of them are successful. Some things, it depends on what works for the people. It depends on what works for them. You know what I mean?
I can't have two. I can't have two husbands.
Good, man. I see how you fixing it up.
I can't have two husbands. See.
Hey, ladies, if y'all want to go for it, you can try it. I mean, I don't know, man. I know I ain't going for it though.
In the morning.
Okay, so one guy said consistency was important to him. What do you say about that?
Absolutely.
But y'all love to wait 5 weeks before you call somebody back. So what's that about?
That's not necessarily true. A lot of times, how did we leave it?
Explain.
How did we leave? Did I leave you in a strange way? Did I leave you where I'm where I'm giving you hints that may not call you back. It depends on how the conversation left the night before.
Well, I think people like to throw the word consistency out there a lot. So what is consistency to you is really the thing. Calling a person every day. I personally think consistency is nothing ever changes. Whether I talk to you a week, 3 weeks from now, nothing ever changes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's always the same type of treatment. It's always the same type of conversations, the same vibes. You know, people be having things to do sometimes.
Got you.
And so you never know what somebody's going through. Sometimes the person might need space. The person might really need some time. And you smothering them just because you want to see them or talk to them all the time, that's not necessarily, that's a controlling factor. You know what I mean? So we have to kind of, in the back of our minds, ask ourselves, what is consistency to us? I just like to be treated right and talk to the right way and have good conversations, good vibes anytime I'm talking to that individual.
I think for me, I look at pattern. And I think, well, that comes from being in the military too, is consistency is looking at the pattern of a person. Now, if you keep changing up, then I'm going to start looking at what's really going on behind the scenes. But I like consistency. Consistency is important in stability, because if a person is not consistent with their word,
I think they don't care. If they're not consistent with me, they don't care. Right. And then when they don't care, I don't care.
If we're dating, let's move it. If we're dating, there should not be a day go by where we're not communicating at some point. I just think that now, if we're just friends, don't expect me to call you every single day. But if we moved it along and we're seeing each other consistently, we're going out, we said, okay, we're gonna be monogamous, it's gonna be just me and you, then I expect a text or call.
I was gonna say, even in friendships, you expect consistency. Even if we don't talk, we should get a heart emoji or something.
Let me know that you okay.
Absolutely.
Let me know everything's okay.
Absolutely.
Don't just ignore my text. And what burns me up more is I know you see me texting you or call it and you ignore me. That's the way for me to.
That means you don't want to be bothered, and we are moving on.
I'm good with you.
We're moving on with our lives at that point.
Right.
I'm good with you. I'm good with you. I'm good with you. Because I didn't give you that. So that's what you've given to me. All you need to know, you're pushing me away, and I'm okay with that.
I have a question.
You was my right now, but you may not be my tomorrow.
Let me ask you something. How important? Okay, so if you meet a girl and you say, "Let me go out. We want to get to know each other," which is courting. I think he said it was courting.
Right.
And so you call her tomorrow, and she's just like, "I'm unavailable because I'm going out with Junebug." Are you offended? Did you think that took her off the market? When is the girl off the market?
Is when we
I don't think she should have to explain. If we're just in the courting stage and we're friends, I don't think she should have to explain that to me.
Okay.
I honestly don't feel like she has to explain that to me until we're dating.
So how does she know that when does she know that you're dating? When does she know she's been elevated to?
That's when we come to a mutual agreement that we're going to make this something else.
So for the women that have been to dinner with you 5 times and y'all held hands and you ate out of the same popcorn jug, you're not in a relationship until y'all had a conversation. Y'all hear that, women? You hear that? You hear that?
We gotta have that conversation to elevate it.
So it's not mixed.
Hold hands. We can walk.
I'm not holding it. I'm not doing all of that. I'm not holding hands and all that.
But we can do horse and carriage rides and Central Park to have fun. We can go to all the movies. Until we have that conversation, don't assume.
I done fainted 3 times.
I'll laugh with you. I might even cry with you if you need me to cry with you. But I'm not holding your hands until I know it's official. I'm not putting my hand. I'm not touching you in any type of way that is sensual, sexual, until I know that we are actually something.
Got you. Okay. But we need to hear this, women. We need to hear this, because just because he's hanging out at the house or he's laughing and texting don't mean y'all is in a relationship. You're
Right.
only in a relationship once he says, I think I like you. Would you like to be my girlfriend, or I like to be around more often, or whatever it is that people say when they're in these situations.
And again, it should be outside of the presence of your children.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's not the conversation people have, because you hear women, they hopped out of this relationship. Now their kids are seeing another dude a couple weeks later, and if that don't work, they seeing somebody else, and they hearing you on the phone. They don't think about that. The kids are hearing your conversation about
Your
this person
relationship.
ain't no good, this person ain't no good. And then, especially if you got a boy, the boy forms an impression of his mother very quickly. And he may never say nothing. And they always say, oh, a man want a woman just like his mother. Not necessarily.
Look, listen, don't play with them boys. Listen, my boys don't play. They gonna tell me what they feel and what they think. So y'all need to be careful what y'all doing around these little boys, but they got a mind of their own. Trust me.
I'm telling you.
Trust me.
Because
they don't play.
They hear the conversation that you're having with your friends and other people.
Yep.
They hear it.
Yep.
And at some point, if they have a father, uncle, or somebody they're close to, they're gonna tell them about every conversation you've had with your friends, with your girlfriend. Don't ever think it's secret, because it's not. But we don't think about that.
Right.
Boys will communicate it with somebody, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, he want a woman just like his mother." Not at all.
Miss Jackie said, whenever a commitment has been made, that's where they're committed to each other as a couple. So it has to be a conversation.
Yeah.
We cannot assume.
Right.
We cannot assume anything. And someone was saying to me recently, because I was saying to them how sporadic this person has been, and he was like, nah, friend, foe, boyfriend, girlfriend, anybody that's sporadic, just leave it alone, because they not rocking with the situation. And I was like, that might be true, because
I don't necessarily. I think we have to leave room. I think we have to leave room for people, because sometimes a person has to grow into you.
I'm listening, doctor.
Sometimes a person has to grow into you. So a person might not get you when they first meet you, but the more that they talk to you and have conversations, then they might start to begin to understand exactly who they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So I really think you have to leave room for things to be, discussed and interpreted until a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, to me, the commitment stage is saying, yeah, we're going to be together. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. But before that, you should not have those type of expectations for a person until you really get to know them.
Got you. Because you don't want to commit to something. You don't want to commit to something you don't want.
Right.
And
we don't leave room for growth.
Yeah. All right. I think that might be enough for one night, because y'all done gave me a headache. Y'all done made me stressed out. Baby mamas and daddies dating.
Look, this is a beautiful conversation.
And breaking the windows out your car when you don't call me back. Very stressed out. I need a Tylenol or some coffee or something. I want to thank both of y'all. Most people know Pastor Steve because he works with the funeral home. His favorite line is, "You will see him sooner or later."
Oh man, hopefully it's later.
That's what I say. Glory to God. And my Sinette texted me to my messing up your name. I said Montez. What she said, keep saying Montez, but I said Montez, and she keep bugging me, talking about you saying his name wrong. But tell them where they can find your music or find your information and stuff if they want to take a listen and be supportive of what you're doing over there.
Okay. Well, you could look for me at Montez Kane on all social media. I have an EP out right now on every outlet, YouTube, that Spotify, Apple Music. It's called Dawn of a New Day, the EP.
Nice. What's up? All right, so you two hold on, and I'm gonna put them out of here, and then we'll be back next week for another session of TS Talk. And thank y'all for joining us. Please share, like, subscribe, whatever buttons they say to support the platform. We're gonna try to do it one more round this year for the next session of TS Talk. All right, bless y'all.
Thanks for having me. Blessed.